Welcome to SF Commercial Property Conversations with Bruce Bean, where Bay Area investments meet expert insights. Get ready to unlock the strategies of commercial real estate success.
So today we've got Michael Ryan with us. And Michael, you have been raised in the Santa Cruz Mountains. You've gone to Alaska. You've come back to this area. And somehow in all of this, you ended up in real estate. So it's great to have you. I kind of want to hear a quick version of your origin story of how you got into commercial real estate.
Yeah, kind of interesting. My dad was a college prof, 9 years old. We added 800 square feet onto the house. And being a college prof back in the day, income, I joke we had enough income for materials or labor.
Not both.
Not both. And I'm the oldest of three. So, I kind of started construction then, construction, automotive. I mentioned to Bruce earlier, my first car was tow it home, pull the motor, rebuild it, that kind of thing. So automotive and construction. When I left college, just really on a lark, jumped on a plane and landed in Anchorage, Alaska, middle of summer, back in the 70s. And so continued, jack of all trades, never worked for any major corporation, ran a couple of gas stations, played around in the wrong part of town for too much, had a pool hall for a while. So like I said, all kinds of fun.
In Anchorage, Alaska, pool hall in Anchorage, Alaska.
In Anchorage, Alaska.
Oh, wow.
Yep. So at one point in time, decided I'd had enough too many conversations with people wearing suits and badges on them. So I decided to clean my contrary act up and actually wound up running a wrecking yard and towing company 45 miles outside of Anchorage. Still wheeling and dealing, bartering, wheeling, dealing cars, trading construction for a motor, all kinds of crazy stuff, riding Harley, racing a little car at an 8th mile dirt roundy round. And then one fateful weekend, I was doing a side gig with an international painting contractor. We were repainting the inside of the postal warehouse in Anchorage, Alaska. And unfortunately, I took a header and wound up breaking my back. So all of a sudden, blue collar work was immediately ended. Coming out of that summer, I was challenged by my wonderful real estate broker buddy into taking on a new career. And the reason I did it is he told me it was something I couldn't beat. And that just lit my afterburners. And I said, oh, bull hockey.
I can beat this.
I was not that kind with my language. And he laughed. And so he sent me to a real estate school on a Wednesday night, and I found out it was the second Wednesday of a 2-week, 5 nights a week real estate class. So I'm going in on night 8 of a 10-night class. And the following Saturday, I was going in to sit for the exam.
No problem.
No problem. I called him up Thursday morning asking him WTF. And he's laughing his tail off going, well, you ain't working. What else you got to do? And if you don't pass that class, you won't need a plane ticket to Seattle because I will kick you so hard and you know where you will land in Seattle. And he hung up on me.
And apparently you passed.
I went to class Thursday night. I went to class Friday night. I went in to sit for the exam Saturday morning, and I passed the class.
All right. So then
it turned out he was the top training broker in the entire state, had trained more realtors of the year, association presidents, board presidents, yada yada, than the next 5 trainers combined.
So then you were in residential real estate in Alaska.
I was in residential real estate in Alaska. I worked with him for a year. My second year, I went and, so I started getting involved in politics. Befriended another realtor who was a German national, Uli, love her to death. She's still with us. Her, she was on the education committee with the National Association of Realtors. Her picture is on the NAR Wall of Fame.
Wow.
She's still with us. Her broker was in CCIM, so I was going the Certified Commercial Investment direction as the education chairman for the Alaska chapter. So my first transaction was a veteran buying a house. My second transaction was helping one of my automotive buddies buy a SBA repo for his business. And my third transaction was buying 40 acres of dirt for a client out in the middle of nowhere as they were relocating to Alaska to build a family compound. So add that to my jack of all trades construction background, and the training to pick a niche and focus on the niche never happened.
Oh, okay. Oh, I was going to say, wait, yeah, what niche are you
Yeah,
going?
yeah. What thing? So I relocated back to California in 1990. Well, so long story short, when I started real estate was a year after the Trans-Alaska Pipeline construction project ended.
Oh, okay.
So
Everything
fall of
dried up there.
Yeah, so fall of 1987, we were in a major depression.
Ah,
One of every 5 homes was vacant, owned by the bank,
oh, wow.
and we had a published 35% unemployment rate, and I'm
Whoa.
going to work in real estate. So
Yeah.
I'm turning around going, well, I gotta do some kind of farm. I gotta do something that nobody else is doing. So I started farming land because
Oh,
nobody
wow.
had sold any land, raw land. So I started farming, snail mail, going down to the county, reading microfiche, the whole 9 yards. And my second year in business, I was involved in 80% of all land transactions in my county.
Wow. Okay.
And I got the listing agreement for 250 parcels of dirt with Key Bank. They
Whoa.
had no idea how many parcels they owned in the Mat-Su borough, which was 500 plus. I walked in, made the presentation. They asked me, what do I want? I said, I'll take half, and I won't be picky. I
Right.
just had spreadsheets. This page is yours. This page I won't. This page is yours. This page, So got a listing agreement for that. Went out and started painting and hanging signs. And 5 weeks later, FDIC took over the bank and canceled my listing agreement.
Oh, God.
The only difference is I forgot the memo that I was supposed to pull my signs, and I didn't.
No, that's
Yeah.
good.
So did a lot of work there. Came back to move back to California in the middle of the same 1990 SNL
Yeah.
crash.
Yeah.
So there was no real estate going on. I decided I wanted to eat. I had one of the highest closing ratios in Alaska, because I pre-qualified all my people. So I went to work for a realtor who was opening up a mortgage company.
Ah, okay.
And by doing so, I decided, doing mortgages, banks are open 9 to 5. I don't have to work 100 hours a week.
Ah, yeah. Yeah. Weekends,
So
all that stuff.
Yeah, so I stayed in mortgage, started buying property in 99. Being a mortgage broker, I make great money, and so it's at the tail end of economic booms when I technically qualify for loans.
Ah,
So
Okay.
I had to figure out how to buy property at market peaks.
Okay.
1999, 05, 07, you know, fun stuff like that.
Got it.
I, God, along the way, I'm an education junkie. My fear is not knowing enough to protect my clients. So
Well, yeah.
that's really the real estate story. I've done options trading, flip properties, apartment building in Oklahoma, bought bulk REO back in 2010. For those who have been around a day or three, and always coaching clients on being safe. I was just earlier today telling a quick story to somebody about, the stair stepping interest rates. Oh, rates are down. Should we be refinancing people? My answer is maybe. So my example was I did two clients, did both their purchases in 05. Minimal down payments, owner occupied, beautiful. One of them, we stair step down the interest rates all during the during the downturn and then the rates coming down. And in 2015, I was refinancing them again, getting them a 4% interest rate, 30-year fixed. They paid off like 10% of the property because this was their fifth refinance, stair stepping down. Stair step down. Oh, yeah, the no cost loans, and which they always, there's no wrong answer.
Right.
I'm the devil's advocate. Does this make sense for you today? And will you be happy if this is your last bite of the apple? They kept saying yes all the way through. So it worked out fine. 2015, they'd had the house 10 years. Of course, it had doubled in value. So I'm refinancing them into another 30-year mortgage. Another client, 2015, same dang thing, but they had not stair stepped down.
Uh-oh.
We turned around and rocked them into a 15-year loan, and their payment was lower. And they wound up with a 3% 15-year mortgage.
Wow.
Not stair stepping down. They're 25 years and done. Stair stepping down, those clients are 40 years to pay off their house.
Right, right.
You got to be looking at it, and my industry sells mortgages, sells. That's where I'm the consultant. Does it make sense? And we have these conversations with apartment building, commercial, whole different game, because rarely is there fully amortized loans in commercial.
Right.
Some apartment buildings and a lot of the SBA loans for small business are fully amortized. Shopping centers, unless you're getting insurance company loans where you can get 15, 20-year fully amortized, everything's got a bullet.
Right.
5-year, 7-year, 10-year, 15, 20-year. So I find in the commercial, it's more understood to have these juicy conversations. What are you trying to do? Where are you trying to get to? What's the goal? What's the plan? So that's where I have fun. And, I've had corporate life insurance license. So, talking to people about, do you have life insurance, whole life? I've done options trading. So my techies talking about what they're doing, playing with the stock market. It's all, what's the plan? Where's the balance? I don't believe in 110% stocks. I don't believe in 110% real estate. Where's the balance? What are the potentials in the marketplace? What's the plan for you and your family? We read about, inheritance and everything else, and unfortunately, the equities market, And the real estate in my marketplace, the realtors and the mortgage people are going, oh goody, because us baby boomers, we want
Right.
$170 trillion of asset.
Whoa.
Whoa. And how many of us are training our children and grandchildren to be fiscally responsible? How does that fit into the helicopter plan?
Yeah. That hell.
Sorry, I'm just rude that way because that's why I now consult. I used to give all of this information away and spend hours and hours and hours training people, and then they go down to Chase or Wells and get their mortgage.
Right, right.
Kiss my grits. If we're doing financing, Yeah, it's transaction. If not, I'll put together a plan. I've done it for doctors. I've done it for people that are making, here I'm in Silicon Valley. We're in Silicon Valley. I've done it for people making $60,000, $70,000 a year, how they can retire wealthy.
Cool. So you've become a financial planner, basically.
True, but we cannot use that term because that term is licensed through the SEC. So
Wow, I didn't know that.
I can use the term consultant, but not everybody is wired for real estate.
No, that's for sure.
I was talking to another friend of mine recently, and they used to have real estate scattered all around the country. They were like a lot of us going, man, this stuff is juicy. These returns are juicy. Nashville is great. Oklahoma City is great. Charlotte, Orlando, blah, 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 blah. And a person I was talking to going, I'm one of those type personalities. I was losing sleep at night. Get a call. This is broke. That's broke. So it happened to be before COVID, but we sold all of the nationwide stuff and we brought all the money back into California where we live.
So who's your perfect client? If we're catering to the audience here, who's the perfect person to give you a call?
People who have judicious fear about being sold a bill of goods.
Oh yeah, okay. Yeah.
Because
a lot of scams out there or a lot of buildings out there.
Yeah, we'll have an initial conversation, and if we're going to be doing business, we're going to do business, no problem. If it's one of those, no, Mike, I don't have anything going on, and we talk, my consulting is extremely modest. And they kind of go, let's just do that. And I go, fine. And if you do business with me, you'll get the consulting fee kicked back in. Nope.
Right.
I'm not going to retire wealthy on the consulting. I want to work with people who will respect knowledge. That's all. You don't go to university and get free classes.
Right, right.
It's as easy as that,
You got to pay.
And if they're looking for a scholarship or a free ride, well, then their helicopter parents or grandparents can pay my consulting fee. But it's really doing this because I have actually had clients in the past that I told them not to buy real estate.
Yeah.
Because their DNA, they were just going to be freaking out and stressing. And there's lots of other avenues to build wealth securely and safely. Now, the accelerated path is going to be real estate or small business. I'm not talking out of turn. There's enough documentation. There's enough PhD dissertations around that abound. The most secure and sure way to build wealth in the USA is small business and or real estate. That's documented.
That's key to financial future.
It is, and so so those are the hallmarks, and then it's building in What is the individual or the couple? I use the term individual. What is their DNA? I'm going to go digging into their past, their history. I want to see how their coding is. Perfect example. Had two sets of clients. They're both, I love them. They both worked, but they were weekend warriors.
Okay.
Buy a fixture, rehab it with the family, live in it for 2 years, sell it, take the 500 grand free upside from Uncle Sugar, step and repeat.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
They introduced me to their kids who
Yeah.
were techies living in the city.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
And so I'm meeting with them and digging what's their history. And I mean, I'm not going to say which one of them was in tears.
Yeah.
Talking about being sweet 16, and because the extra bedroom and bathroom were currently being rehabbed, which was never fast, they were sharing a bedroom with their sibling
Oh, God.
and the bathroom with mommy and daddy.
Not great.
And seriously, they were traumatized from it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
This was just simply a DNA thing. This was not a right or a wrong. They were techies, they had a robust social life, they were into the arts, they had a group of friends, and basically every Friday somebody was having the potluck dinner party, and what show is playing, what musical's playing, all this stuff. And I said, guys, your parents are going to hate me. Go get the nicest condo. Yes, buy real estate. Absolutely. Period. End of story. Get the nicest condo. If you like sunsets, have the deck facing the west. If you like sunrises, have it facing the east. But get your digs to where you're entertaining and everything else.
Yeah. Get out of Dodge here.
They did. Their realtor hijacked the mortgage from me.
Oh, no.
And both sets of parents have never talked to me again. They wanted
happy, right?
They wanted the kids to get a fixer so they could all come together, kumbaya, and continue this plan. But stress. What was the right answer? The reason I tell that story is I own the story.
Yeah, right.
I
right.
did the right thing. That's my why. That's my holy grail. What's the right thing? So I'm going to be speaking again towards the end of the year at one of the real estate investment groups, and the topics along the line, along the lines of taking you from 2 to 10, building a safe strategy. Most flippers do 1 and then they're done. That is a crime. There's something missing in the planning. There's something missing in the setup. I want to be there in advance of it to set it up. And if flipping ain't the right thing, well, let's figure out what the jam is. Is it, I've never lived in a pretty place. The joke is, you want to see something pretty of Mike's, find out the addresses of what he sold. Because they were always gorgeous when I sold them.
All right.
You don't want to see where I'm living now. Same thing. Everything I've ever owned roughly needs, 250 plus a rehab. Then it's gorgeous, and then I do it again. But that's me. I grew up that way. I grew up digging foundations, putting roof on, wiring the property, replumbing, laying tile floors, pouring concrete. I grew up that way. I grew up bring the car home, unbolt the motor, lift the motor out, haul it to the workshop, and rebuild it. I've never owned a new car. ever.
All right. So where can people that need your advice find you, Mike?
Pretty simple. I happen to have one of those fairly recognizable names.
Yep, Mike
And-
Ryan, pretty easy.
Yes. Now, the only trick is, and another fun one, I got the website address, this is dating me, in 1996.
Oh, you were early. Yeah.
I was early, but I still had to get a hyphen in the name in order to get the website.
Yeah, still there was something ahead of you.
Michael-Ryan.com.
All right,
Old
Michael-Ryan.
school, yeah, old school
.com.
spelling, MICHAEL hyphen, not the underscore, Ryan.com.
All right, all of you audience, I think we could use a little consulting. So give Mike a call. I'm looking at your website, beautiful website. So check it out. And for the moment, we will pause this. We may come back again in 3 to 6 months and see what the market's up to and get a little more consulting at that time. All right, Mike, great to have you on.
Thank you, Bruce. It
And
was fun.
it was very fun, very informative. And I think those people that are definitely in the flipping world need to talk to you, that want to know about real estate, want to avoid some scams. They need to come to you.
Happy to help.
That's a wrap on today's journey through the SF commercial real estate scene. Ready to share your story? Visit sfcommercialconversations.com/guest. Your insights could lead the next conversation.